Okay, so here with another job for the Canvas API. As ever, we're doing this with Python. My task today is to check on all of our ongoing assignments within each of our Canvas courses in the School of Life Sciences. There's about 150 courses, and I think there's probably about 700 separate assignments or separate assignment links that we need to worry about. Now, when we've recreated those assignment links for the resets, they're typically cloned from existing links, which means that even though we want them to be anonymous, even though we want the grading to appear, so we want all the submissions to appear anonymous to the graders, at the moment that setting is set to off or false. So if I was a marker, I'd go into an assignment submission, I would be able to see the student's name. I don't want that. So we're going to generate a report to see which ones, which assignments that setting is on or off for, and then re-anonymize those that need to be anonymized. Okay, so we're going to do all of that with the Canvas API across about 150 modules. Obviously, if you're doing this manually, it'll take you a long time to do that. I'm going to start with my standard base code here. I'll create a template and I'll put a link to this in the video. I'm installing the Canvas API module first, simply using pip, and then I'm doing some imports here just to get some really useful modules that I most commonly use, most notably probably in this case pandas. I'm going to make a spreadsheet out of my report at some point. API URL, of course, it's liverpool.instructure.com. My API key, so I've already run this, so I'm not going to run it again. To get your key, you need to go to your Canvas account settings and create a new token for you to use with the Canvas API. And then to create my Canvas object from which I'm going to be able to access Canvas, that's this final line here. Okay, so the first thing I want to do is I'm basically going to create a list of numbers which correspond to the module codes for all of our modules. So I'm going to do something like courses equals, or course codes equals X for X in range. Our courses go from 101 up to about 750. Not every one of those numbers corresponds to a course, but typically they're in that range. So I'm going to start at 100, and go to I think I'll go to 800 just in case. So if I run this will basically just give me a massive list of codes from 100 up to 800. Now I know there are a couple of exceptions here. So for example, I know I've got a couple of courses, 130 and 230. Those are courses for which we have a tutorial system in place, and it's actually important that the markers on those courses can see their student submissions. Okay, so I don't want to re-anonymize anything on those courses, so I'm gonna accept that, and then I'm gonna recreate this course codes list by doing X for X in course codes if X is not in exceptions. So basically that'll regenerate the course codes, but it will ignore 130 and 230. Okay, so if I look at that again, scroll to the top here, bit of a long list. There you go. Should have left out 130. Yeah, 129, 131. So it's left that out. Let's get rid of that. Okay, so right, we're now going to loop through all of those and get each of the Canvas courses, and then we're going to find the assignments. And specifically, I'm interested in any assignments that have the word reset in the title, and we've set that up so it's all capitalized as well. And then it'll grab those, check whether the anonymous grading is on or off, and stick it into a report. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to create an empty variable called rows, because each assignment is going to constitute a row in a report. I'm going to create a variable which I'm going to ask for an input for, called anon equals input. Do you want to re-anonymize all assignments? Yes or no. Okay, and that's, if I was to run that now, it would just give me a prompt to say yes, so it'll save that as a string for me for later. That'll be useful for later. Before I get to that point, I'm going to loop through these courses. So I'm going to a massive for loop now, right? So C in course codes. I want to get the course, so I'm going to create a new variable called course. Here's my canvas objects. Get course, and what I'm going to do, so all of our course codes, or I should say our course SAS IDs, have this prefix life. Then I'm going to put the code in, and and then also it's got a dash, and I want this year's courses. So it's 20, 21, 22. That's how all of our SIS course IDs are set up. And I'm going to just format that with the course code. So what that'll do is it will give me, the first one will be like life 101, then life 102, so on and so forth. It's important that I use this extra parameter here, use SIS ID equals true. Otherwise, it's looking for a course ID, which is something that's different. That's just a number, a unique number for the course. That'll allow me to get the course. And what I'm going to do here, just for a sanity check here, I'm going to print course.sis course ID. So I'm actually going to do this in the. I'm just going to go from 0 to the 10. I'm going to do the first. Sorry, 0, comma. That's right. No, I was right the first time. 0 to 10. So if I do that and print that out, doesn't matter about that for now. Canvas not defined. Okay, so I actually have to rerun this. So I'm gonna get my key and do that a second. I'll be right back. Okay, so I just needed to run this cell again with my key, which I'm not going to show you, obviously. Right, so this time if I run this and click, no, resource not found. Okay, so it said that because the first course it's looking for, I think, is 100, and of course there isn't a course 100. It starts at 101. So actually, I'm gonna put a try and accept block in here, which means that if it ever throws an error, it will just go on to the next one. So if I do that this time, there we go, it's found the first, well, 101 up to 107. Okay, so it's getting those courses. What I want to do next, so within this block now, I actually want to get the assignments in each of those courses that correspond to reset assignments. So to do that, let's create a new variable called assignments. I'm going to use a list comprehension again here for X in, right, this is important, course, get assignments, open and close brackets is important. That's going to get all of the assignments within a course, and I'm going to put a conditional statement at the end here. If reset in x.name. So if the word reset is actually in the title of the assignment, then it will put it into a list for me. Okay, and then I want to pull a couple of things out of those assignment objects. So for A in assignments, so another for loop, right, within the for loop, I'm going to create a row variable. It's going to be a dictionary, and I want the following things. I want the course SIS ID, course dot SIS course ID. I also want the course ID itself. That'll be useful perhaps. I want the assignment's name. So I'm going to do a.name there. I also want the assignment ID just in case. What else do I want? I want whether it's anonymous or not. Okay. So that's going to be a.anonymous grading. That'll just be a true or false for those. And then the last thing I always do is I always get the URL of the assignment, because if I've got to give this report to somebody else and they want to get to the assignment quickly, they can just click the link in the spreadsheet. So the format of that is going to be https liverpool.instructure.com/courses. That'll be the course ID, and then assignments. Assignments / let's format that with a course.id and a.id. Okay, and then after I've created that row object, I want to actually append that to my rows plural list at the top here. Okay, so basically I'm going to loop through all of this for all of my courses, get a big list of rows, and then after I've finished everything, I am going to create a data frame. Okay, so if I run this, ignore that for now. Okay, so it's done that. If I actually print out the data frame, okay, something's gone wrong here. Spelled, that's assignments plural. Okay, try it again. There we go. Okay, so we've got pretty much everything at the moment set to false for all those assignments. So there's the course ID, the assignment name, its ID again, and whether anonymous marking is turned on or not. Okay, so I would like to set these all to true, but before I do that, I'm actually going to make sure I'm saving a report. So I'm actually down the bottom here. I'm going to create another input called save, and I say, would you like to save a report? Yes or no. And then if save.lower equals yes, then I'm going to do the following. Now you can see I've imported date time at the top here. So what I want to do is I want to save basically an Excel spreadsheet version of that data frame, and I want to do it with a unique name. The way I always do this is I always use a timestamp, so that all of my files that I save are labeled with the date and time, so that if ever I'm really not sure when I did it, or I don't want it to override something I've already saved, it's just sort of good practice to do it. Also, you can list them in chronological order. Then that's always super useful in Windows. So I'm going to create a timestamp using a datetime function, or combination of datetime functions. Datetime strftime. I'm going to use datetime now in there, which basically gives the date and time of that exact moment, and I'm going to format it according to this. So I'm going to get a year, a month, a day, then I put a T to indicate that the rest of it is the time, and I'm going to use hour and minutes there. Okay, and then I'm going to save the file that I'm creating, so df to Excel, and I'm going to do what shall I call it? Reset anonymous grading report. .xlsx extension is important, and for index equals false, so it doesn't save the index of my data frame. I don't really want that because Excel's got one anyway. And yeah, so if I run that again, and this time I click yes. Oh, actually, it's second input, so click yes at the end there. Okay, it's done something. If I go over to the little files area on the left of my Colab. Oh, okay, so I've forgotten to format that, so I should have done .format timestamp there. That's okay. You should still be able to download it. And if we take a look, there we go. We've got it in an Excel format there now. Bring it over so you can see it. Whoop. There we go. And if you wanted to, you could return on those links and click on them. Why can't I do it? I can't download the information. Don't know. I won't worry about that for now. Okay, so what I want to do now, instead of doing it for the first 10 courses in my list, I'm just going to do it for everything. So I'm going to remove this indexing at the end of here, and that'll do it for every single course it can find. I'm not going to re-anonymize them yet. I'm just going to run the report. I'm going to give that to somebody else. But then after I've run this, I'm going to show you how to actually re-anonymize all of those as well. Okay, so I'm not going to do that yet. In fact, I won't do anything anyway. And there we go. Off it goes. Okay, so I've run that for all of our courses. There's the report. I can download that, or I've still got it as a data frame, so I can look at all of those rows. I can filter them by which ones are true and false. Blah 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 blah. The important thing I want to do now is I actually want to rerun that again, and this time anonymize the ones that aren't anonymous. So to do that, within this for loop here, in fact within the second for loop, I'm going to have I'm going to use that, what did I call it, anon, if anon dot lower, makes it lowercase, equals yes. I'm actually going to edit that assignment, so a dot edit, and then it'll be assignments. So this is a keyword argument, and it needs to be a dictionary. So anonymous grading, colon, true. Whoops, capital T, that's important. So this time, every time it encounters an assignment that isn't anonymous, it will re-anonymize it. Okay, so I'm going to run that again now, and then across all my Canvas courses, it will turn on anonymous grading again. Shift and enter. Do I want to re-anonymize? Yes, please. And then off it goes. There you go. Right. So I hope that helps.